Good morning. This is Father Stephen Kelly from St. John's Church in Detroit. We're continuing our series of daily morning meditations, where we generally look at one or another lessons that are assigned for morning or evening prayer, what is known as the Daily Office Lectionary. And today, for Saturday, I thought we'd take a look at the first lesson that's assigned from the second book of Samuel. We haven't looked at that in a few days, because it is interesting because it's about King David, but unfortunately, it's not about one of the great things that King David did. It's about one of his failings. That King David, despite the fact that God had anointed him to be leader over Israel, was still led by his passions. He's still affected by sin, and he acts out on that sinful behavior. So we will have 2 Samuel 11, 14 through 27. And it came to pass in the morning that David wrote a letter to Joab and sent it to the hand of Uriah. And he wrote in the letter saying, "Set ye Uriah in the forefront of the hottest battle, and retire ye from him, that he may be smitten and die." And it came to pass, when Joab observed the city, that he assigned Uriah into a place where the valiant men were. And the men of the city went out and fought with Joab, and there fell some of the people of the servant of David, and Uriah the Hittite died also. Then Joab sent and told David all the things concerning the war. And he charged the messenger, saying, "When thou hast made an end of telling the matters of the war unto the king, and if so be the king's wrath arise, and he say unto thee, Wherefore approacheth thee nigh unto the city when ye did fight? Know ye not that they would shoot from the wall? Who smote Abimelech the son of Jerubbaal? Did not a woman cast a piece of the millstone upon him from the wall, that he died in Tebez? Why went ye nigh from the wall? Then say thou, Thy servant Uriah the Hittite is dead also." So the messenger went and came and showed David all that Joab had sent him for. And the messenger said unto David, "Surely the men prevailed against us, and came out unto us into the field, and we were upon them even as entering the gate. And the shooters shot from off the wall upon thy servants, and some of the king's servants are dead, and thy servant Uriah the Hittite is dead also." Then David said unto the messenger, "Thus shalt thou say unto Joab, Let not this thing displease thee, for the sword devoureth one as well as another. Make thy battle more strong against the city, and overthrow it, and encourage thou him." And when the wife of Uriah heard that Uriah her husband was dead, she mourned for her husband. And when the morning was past, David sent and fetched her to his house, and she became his wife, and bare him a son. But the thing that David had done displeased the Lord. Now, background information. What has David had done? Not only that he put Uriah up front to be murdered, but he did it because he wanted Uriah's wife. He, in fact, had spied her beauty, Bathsheba, off on the roof of her own house, and he committed adultery with her. And when she came up pregnant, he tried to get Uriah to come home and to hurry up and sleep with his wife so they could say the child must be yours. He refused to do so. And so because of that, the phone's ringing, because of that, David decided to have Uriah put to death. So he's a murderer, right? He has committed adultery. He has coveted his neighbor's wife. He's done all of these sins. And unfortunately, the child that was conceived out of all of this will die shortly after birth, unfortunately. But David's repentance, his amendment of life, and God's faithfulness to the promise of David that an heir would sit on the throne forever, that in fact the next child, Solomon, that she will bear to him, will end up being his heir, and ultimately through Solomon to Jesus Christ himself. So the history of the people of the original covenant is messy. Human being history is messy, but God is faithful. And our job, our responsibility, is to seek to serve him and be faithful to him. Today's Saturday. We do have a special service today at 10 o'clock for the Daughters of the King. They start off their programming year with our 10 o'clock meeting. We'll start with Holy Communion here at St. John's. And then, of course, tomorrow we join together to celebrate the good news of the resurrection of Jesus Christ, as we do every Sunday. And we will also have at 11:45, because it is 9/11, a dedication of our new carillon with patriotic and other hymns in the garden after the 10 o'clock service. And I hope to see you in church.